You're listening to LVB Podcast Show with your friend, advocate, and host, Alvaro.
Hello and welcome to LVB Show. My name is Alvaro and I'm very happy to be with you tonight. Tonight, this interview is going to be very interesting, but as always, before I introduce our guest, I want to say thank you so much to people listening from the United States, from Canada, from Australia, from Asia, from Africa, from Europe, from Latin America. Remember, if you want to be on the show, you can email me at lowvisionbureau@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at lowvisionbureau, and you can also go on my YouTube channel, Disabled Lifestyle, and you can check all the videos and the interviews there. So tonight we have with us Pramit. Pramit is from India. He has a physical impairment and he works in a company called Visio App, and he is making with his team a lot of wonderful things in terms of accessible applications for people who are visually impaired and blind. And I do believe especially focused in the Android ecosystem, but he's going to tell us about that. Thank you so much, Pramit, for being with us tonight.
Thank you. I'm happy and excited to be here.
The same here, my friend. And can you please tell us a little bit about your company?
Sure. As you said, the name of the company is Visio Apps Technology, and we are building apps for visually impaired people like me. We are a small startup. We call ourselves a social tech venture. We are funded by investors in India and in USA, and we are a team of 13 people, and I'm the founder of the company.
Now, when did this project started and what was the reason behind this?
Okay, great question. So I used to have good vision. About 20 years back, I was given a drug that reacted on the retina, and my vision just dropped. And then it just kept dropping over the years. And then about 8, 9 years back, I realized that I just cannot read anything at all, and the vision was still dropping. I used to, when I had good vision, work with multinationals like Unilever, Motorola, Quest Diagnostics, and then I just went through a phase of 2.5, 3 years. Because remember at that time, 8, 9 years back, there were not too many apps as well. I
Right.
was just lost. I didn't know what to do. And this was the time as I was just coming out of it. I said, look, I don't want my experience to be sort of repeated by other friends who are also, losing their vision. And this is when I thought of, this idea just came when I was sitting with a friend and he was helping me book an Uber. And, he took my phone, he said, let me book it for you. And he kept asking me, okay, where do you want to go? Which ride do you want to take? This is the cost of the ride and so on. And I said, look, what if I could just build a virtual friend like that, which is right there on the phone screen? It just does the same kind of interaction with me. And that is how Louie was born. So that is the story behind Louie.
Now, so this is very interesting, Pramit, and I want to know your company focusing right now, if I am right, in Android. That is correct?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Your company is focusing in doing applications for Android users?
Correct. So we have started with Android, but in a year's time, we would also be doing the technical feasibility for iOS as well.
Okay, that's interesting for our listeners. So the primary app, you're going to have one application or you're going to have more? What is the idea?
Okay, so the app is called Louie Voice Control, and the idea behind it is simple. that with just voice commands, I should be able to do each and everything within an app. So like I gave the example of Uber. Now with Louie voice control today, I can completely book Uber end to end, do everything within Uber, including changing destination, multiple stop booking, calling driver, messaging, and so on, each and everything. So when we say we'll add more apps, we are talking of adding more and more apps which are going to be voice enabled. So currently we do Uber, YouTube, WhatsApp, contacts, phone calling, text messaging. We are just integrating, and the whole idea is that we cover each and every aspect of our lives. So, for example, if you take communication, social connectivity, so that's where Facebook, Messenger, Telegram will add. We want to move around, we want to travel, so Expedia could come in it could be tomorrow be Airbnb, Gmail is a critical one. So the idea is to voice enable more apps through Louis voice control.
Pramit, okay, I have a question. Let me see if I understand correctly. You are telling me and telling our listeners that there is a technology in works that will allow you to ask for a driver on Uber using your app, doing the whole process with the voice?
Yes, absolutely, and it's already there. So, like I said, each and everything within Uber, and I've been booking my Uber, I would say for last 6 months using Louis. Each and everything I can do with just voice commands, and it does continuous interaction, just like a virtual friend would.
Wow. I suppose you cannot do a demonstration of Louis right now, can you?
Not right now because I am using the same phone. So right now, no, because I am not ready for it. But I can share a video, and I think even the audio that you can share in it would give the listeners a great idea of how the app works.
Please, if you can do, I can wait. Yes.
No, it will be difficult for me. So because I don't know technologically how to do both the things together.
Because, in a tablet, yeah, that would be hard right now. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Okay.
Because Skype is using the microphone now for Louis to, Louis will not get the microphone, so that's why.
Oh, you're right. Right. Okay, no problem. I'm just getting so excited about this information. This is the first time, and I have done a lot of interviews with leaders in technology, Pramit, but it's the first time I hear someone telling me something so exciting about the interaction with applications. What we're going to do for our listeners is once this interview is posted, I'm going to be putting below the description the video that Pramit is going to give us so our listeners are able to visualize what this looks like in action. Pramit, okay, I'm so excited. I didn't know this was so powerful, I have to say, Pramit. Um, because there are so many developers doing so many good things, but things like you are doing is the first time I hear someone is doing this amazing thing. I mean, I'm going to be promoting this so much everywhere, I'm going to ask you, and please excuse me that I am so ignorant about your concept, but this is new to me and for our listeners. I'm sure it's new to them as well. Because I'm going to give you examples and you let me know if I am correct or not about what your technology is going to be able to do. Okay?
Sure.
Okay, first example with Uber. Okay, so I opened the Uber app and I have used Uber for many years now, Pramit. Okay, I opened the application. Now, what you're telling me, if I am correct, is I don't need to just flick to the right and right and right and look for your destination, your where are you coming from, etc., etc. I'm gonna be able to say something like, I'm just trying to understand here. I'm gonna say Um, okay, that's a question for you.
Okay, let me just quickly give you an idea of how it will work. So
Yeah.
you will say to your phone, you will say, "Hey Louis." Louis will immediately come on, and it will then you say, "I want to use Uber," or you can even say directly, "I want to go to X, the location where you want to go." So Louis opens up Uber. Louis will itself open up Uber. You will see the Uber screen coming, and Louis will, if in case you have given the destination, it will give you the options. It will read out the destinations, or you can, give it the destination. You can select your destination. Then it will say, okay, these are the rides, and you can. It will give you rides. Interestingly, in the order of increasing prices. But let's say if you normally take one particular Uber ride, you can also just anytime speak, give the name of the ride. Now, once you have selected your destination and you have selected your ride, because what I felt visually impaired people need a confirmation of the pickup. So it will then confirm everything. It will say pickup is this, destination is this is how you're going to make the payment, and this is the ride, and this is the fare. And it will give you confirm or edit. So you can anytime go back. You can say edit, and you can change any of these things, or you can just say confirm, and the moment you say confirm, it starts it basically starts looking for a rider for the driver. Once the booking gets confirmed, it will tell you the driver is X minutes away, this is the car, this is the number, and then it will give you options like call the driver, message the driver, and so on.
So, Pramit, when it comes to selecting the ride or the destination, that's the only time when you use your fingers to select. Is that correct?
No, you don't need to use your fingers. You don't need to touch the screen. So the way it works is it will say, okay, so it will say write one,
Yes.
X dollars, write two, Y dollars. And like I said, it will give you rights in the order of increasing prices because we all tend to be price sensitive. Uber will, of
Right.
course, try and push a premium ride first. And so you can, it will read the ride and you have the option of either selecting it or going on to the next one or just giving directly the name of the ride. You don't have to touch the screen at all.
Wow. In Primit, sorry for the question, but you must be getting a lot of funding from many countries. This is something new.
It is, but yeah, we get some funding. We still need a lot more funding because you can imagine nobody else is building, looking at technology. Because look at it this way. I am just trying to solve my own problems because like I said, having gone through almost 3 years of being completely lost, not knowing what to do next. So basically, Louis is really trying to solve my own problem and hoping that there'll be many more friends like me for whom Louis will work. So that's what we are doing. But yes, we are looking for more investors right now.
Primit, I am out of words, to be very honest with you. It's unbelievable what you're telling me. It's unbelievable. Um, okay, you talk about WhatsApp, correct?
Correct.
What can you do on WhatsApp with your voice?
Again, each and everything. See, the whole idea, like I said, is that we take one app and the question that I raised to the team was that look, can we with just voice commands do each and everything within WhatsApp, just like a sighted person would. So I can, so again, I say, hey, Louis, it opens WhatsApp, it will start reading one chat after another, and I can choose whichever chat, I can go directly, I can just give the name of the chat where I want to, which one I want to open. And then, it automatically will read messages, it will open audio messages, voice messages, you can send message, text message, audio message, you can share location, you can even do group calls. You can create new groups. Each and everything is possible within WhatsApp in a same
Primit,
way.
but Primit, you're telling me you're going to be able to send voice messages with your voice?
Yes,
How do you do that?
Okay, so let's say I've opened a chat and all I say is voice message,
Yes.
and Louis then tells me, okay, after the beep sound, just speak your message, and I don't have to hold on to anything. It just says that look, once the message is over, just tap anywhere on the screen with one finger, and in case the message was not right, if I tap it with two fingers, it cancels the message. So I speak my message. I just tap anywhere on the screen. I don't have to hit any particular button or anything. I just hit with one finger and the message goes.
Wow. This technology is unbelievable, Primit, to me. I'm blown away, you know? Um, I am. Okay, can you give me another example of another application?
Yeah, sure. So YouTube, I think is an interesting one. So YouTube, if you see, I think there are. So when we start off, we speak to a lot of visually impaired, trying to understand their pain points. So on YouTube, we were told two pain points, and this is particularly true of Android. One is that in Android, you just cannot post a comment on YouTube video because somewhere that option doesn't come if you are using a screen reader. And secondly, it's very difficult to skip ads. So visually impaired people told me that look, if I am visually impaired, does it mean I have to see each and every ad because the video is running and then you don't know when the skip button will come. So again, what Louis does is that basically I'll say, hey Louis, YouTube, it will ask me which video I want to search for. I give the name of the video and it will read the listings one after another. I choose which video I want to watch. And then when the video is playing, I just need to tap with two fingers once. Then that's when, every other option. So I can comment, I can share. So I can easily share a video with a friend through WhatsApp. I can, and it's all integrated. So if you say share on YouTube, it will take you to WhatsApp. Again, with voice commands, you can choose your friend, it comes back again to YouTube. You can do like, you can subscribe, and so on. So all of those things are possible. And it will skip an ad automatically. It will detect an ad and it will skip it automatically. It's a setting, you can set it up to always skip.
Wow, it's in, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. And what's what's the limitation? Let's say, Primit, you had all the
Oh,
money in
sure.
the world to do this. You are talking about doing this for each and every application. Well, that's impossible. I'm supposing you have to choose some applications. Of course, you're talking about some of the most important in the world. Uber, YouTube, WhatsApp are some of the most important ones. But what is the limit of this technology, and what is um, your dream goal?
Okay. So you're right. I mean, it's just not possible to do each and every app on our own. So the way we look at it, I want to do about 15 apps, and like I said, covering each and every area of our life. Right? Like we need to communicate, we need to be socially connected. It could be education also. It could be moving around with Uber. It could be traveling, and so on. So that's one. Number two, by that time, I am hoping that we can build relationships. So let's say tomorrow, a competitor of Uber, let's say in the USA, wants us to voice enable, and we would be able to, build an SDK, and they could be able to integrate it. So we would eventually have to do that, where more and more apps can integrate with Louis voice control.
It's amazing. Are you going to do something with platforms like maybe LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Facebook, in fact, see, right now all our work is based on the feedback that we get from the users. In fact, the most important ingredient right now is feedback. So I think a lot of people have asked us for Facebook and Messenger, Telegram also, and I think LinkedIn we haven't got too many people asking for it, but that's something which you can easily do. Actually, LinkedIn, Twitter, I mean, they're not very difficult to do.
I'm thinking, now that you are talking about covering the basics for blind people in our daily lives, that for instance, applications that allows you to read, um, maybe a text editor, maybe a podcast application, right? Things like that,
Correct.
that more and more and more people are using worldwide, but we find many accessible bugs that put us out of them. You know, it says to us, you cannot use this, and that's a big problem. Um, what you are doing, Primit, is so important for accessibility worldwide. I mean, this is extremely important. I wonder, have you reached out to the biggest organizations that are fighting for the rights of people with disabilities in terms of accessibility? Are you doing that?
Okay, so to be honest, not so far because reason was that I just wanted to build this app up to a level, where we can. I think now the time has come. So it's only now that we've actually started talking about the app. We currently have users in about 60 countries across the world, but yeah, now is the time when we want to reach out to the bigger organizations, start talking, start spreading the word, and like I said, getting more and more user feedback because that really helps us improve the app.
Okay, so are you going, and this question I know is complicated, but of course I have to put it out there. Are you considering having this service in another language besides English?
Yes. So the plan is that for next about 1 year or so, we would focus exclusively on English. Now, then we want to go into other languages. So, for example, Spanish would be another, I think, from a global perspective, an important language to do that. So, over the next 5 years, yes, I think it will be important to do all the major global languages in the world.
Okay, it's so exciting, Pramit. Oh, a big question is, this is being prepared as we speak. When do you think the application for Android will be released, maybe with limited options?
Okay, so Android app is already there. It's there on Google Play Store. It can be downloaded by anybody. It's right now in beta testing, but we plan to maybe in about 6 months' time. Plan to once we have sort of done a few more apps, and we are also doing some other phone functionalities also, like contacts, for example, managing your contacts, sending text messages, and so on. So I think another 6 months' time, it will be released. But even now, anybody can download it from Google Play Store.
I have a question regarding the Google and the Apple ecosystems. How hard is for you, Primit, to make it happen, understanding that you have Google, you have Apple, and their technologies in the middle. You know what I mean? And how
Correct.
does how does that work? Do you think they are friendly with you? They are kind. They understand what you are doing. Is that okay? You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay, so to be honest, we have been working on our own because something what we are trying to do. I don't think anybody else is trying to do that in the way we are trying to do it across the world. So I mean, it has been a lot of hard work. It took us almost a year just to establish the technical feasibility of doing it on Android, and I think hopefully we'll be able to crack it faster on Apple. Let's see. I mean, let's see how the path goes. We do intend to go to Apple and seek their help in building something like this for iPhone.
Pramit, I have a question regarding being able to create this wonderful technology. What did you study to become so good at this? And what did your team study?
Okay, if you want the honest answer, I think it was just that will and the fire to do this. Because honestly, I'll tell you, you know the area that we work in, there is nothing available on the internet, so there is nothing to study. You just got to keep trying, trying, trying. And I think over the last 2 years, we have sort of figured out the technology on how to do it. We made a lot of mistakes, fix those. Even now, I mean, it's not to say that there is still a lot of improvement that we need to make based on the feedback coming from users. But it's just sheer hard work, and because somewhere the way I want to build Louie is that it is really useful for visually impaired people, not in a marketing sense, but in a real sense. Where it can positively start impacting our lives. So I think that's the goal, and that's what gives us the energy to keep working hard at it.
I wonder, I know sadly, Pramit, on this planet many people try to compete and not many people try to unite forces. Do you think it's gonna be possible for you to get some help and some brainstorming from other companies who use voice controls for their applications? Of course, not doing the same as you. You are definitely a pioneer in this field, but is it possible to get united with other people doing good things for accessibility, or is very hard because people get jealous and envy, etc.?
Okay, so I would answer it in two ways. So one is, like you said, there are a whole lot of allied technologies, not necessarily competing, but they can dramatically help you take you to the next level.
Right.
So for example, things like a better text-to-speech voice, for example, it could be natural language processing, artificial intelligence. I mean, there are so many areas. Now, yes, to the second point, we do plan to approach companies because, for example, OCR, if I can build an OCR, if I can build an image recognition, you share something on Facebook, on WhatsApp, and, we can even describe it for you. So I think there is a lot of help that we need from other technologies, and we do plan to reach out to companies, seeking some kind of an alignment or help from them.
Yeah, there has to be. There has to be. I mean, I know
Correct.
some people, of course, you know how it is. There are good and bad everywhere. But the real good people who are doing a good job, they are going to be excited to be united with you and doing something together. And I'm going to say something in the air, something for our listeners and for you, Premit. After we finish the interview, I'm going to um, tell you about someone I know who has developed a wonderful application for blind people, who is a good friend of
Right.
he's a good friend of mine, and I'm gonna tell him about you because he works on OCR, image recognition, and
Oh, wow.
yes, and I think you together are gonna do great things, and I'm super excited about this. For our listeners, the guy I'm talking about, he's from Colombia. He lives in the United States, and he has won some awards by Apple. And the guy is extremely good in technology. He doesn't have a disability himself, but he did this for the community, and he's gonna be extremely excited about this. I'm absolutely sure about that. So we're gonna talk about that after this interview is recorded. Um, Premit, um, finally, I would like to know how can people reach out to you for feedback?
Okay. So there are lots of ways in which I am accessible. So one is that, if you go to Google Play Store, my email ID, which is pramit at louisvoice.com, anybody can write to me, and I actually personally reply to those. Number two, I am reachable on WhatsApp, through Messenger, through Facebook, through Telegram, whichever way that works for you. So what I'm going to do is share my contact details with you. And the best way is to just try out the app, and within the app there is a contact form, so you can just send me your feedback there, and we get in touch with you. And I personally like to speak to as many users as possible, because that's the best way of getting some good real feedback.
That's wonderful, and of course, please tell us again how can people on Android download the application for beta testing.
Okay, so just search for in Google Play Store, just for search for Louie Voice Control. Louie is spelled as Louie, voice control.
Wow, it's incredible this interview. I have to say, Pramit, I never thought it was this powerful. I knew it was good, but I didn't know it was this powerful. So,
Well, I hope the app works for everybody, each one of us. And yes, feedback is really really important.
indeed, Pramit. Okay, please stay there because we have some things to discuss now. But um, thank you so much for your time, your expertise, and what you're doing for everybody.
Thank you so much. I'm really really happy, and hoping that I'll make many more friends through you.
Yes, you will. And for our listeners, I'm going to be promoting this interview a lot. You can count on that. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. I am Alvaro from LVB Show saying good night.